Hello my dear students. Today I am going to explain about the flowcharts. This flowchart is very important to understand the flow of a system. System means when we consider in the computers input, process, output, we call this as a system. When you consider any process, we call that as a system. To understand this particular process, we can draw a flowchart. This is a pictorial representation. Using a flowchart, we can understand what's a system and how it flows, and we can identify the problems and find a solution for this as well. So when we are going to identify what is a flowchart is a diagram that shows the steps needed to solve a problem. So there are different symbols used in flowcharts as well. When we consider one example, we are going to take how to make a tea and serve it. So we can just boil the water, add tea powder and keep it for some time and serve the tea. So here I mentioned using arrows in simple way of how it flows. Start, boil water, add tea, serve tea and finish. Here we are going to talk about flowchart symbols. This is most common flowchart symbols and it's easy to understand. First, the oval shape or the curved rectangle, start and stop. Why I mentioned start and stop? Both the things we can represent from the same shape. So beginning and the end. Process. This is a rectangle. It displays what we can do, like converting, calculations or any type of a processes. This is an angle rectangle. We can use this for input and output, same as the start and stop. This is the same symbol for input and output as well. This is the decision. If we want to give a logic, or if they are going to consider some action, we can give two answers. So in this type of situations, we can use decision box. This is the data flow, how data flow through the system. We'll check what are the benefits of using a flowchart. Easy to understand, helps plan programs, find mistakes easily. I already mentioned that we can find problems. Improve logical thinking. So if we can understand the system, we can improve the system and how it works logically. Used by programmers worldwide. So they are using it. This is the basic component to create a program. So programmers use flowcharts to understand how it works. So this is not only the tool, this is one of the tools we use to understand the program, but this is the easiest and the simplest program. But when it comes to the flowcharts, there are three different structures. This is very important. This we have to identify what are the structures and how it works. First one is a sequential structure. So this sequential means there's a flow from top to bottom. begin to end. So that particular flow, we call this as a sequential structure. Next one is a selection structure. We already have the sequence structure within the flow chart, but we previously discussed about the decision box, the logical thinking. If we include here this one, then the flow chart is going to be the selection structure. So then it's going to be sequence and selection both. Last different structure of flowchart is repetition. This is, we are going to repeat the process more than one time. So this is, we can mention that as a loop as well. So these are three structures in flowcharts, and I hope you all can understand what are the different structures. Right. This is one example. This is a simple example. Draw a flow chart to enter number 1 and number 2 and calculate the total and display the total. So start, as I mentioned, that is the particular symbol. I can just, we have to definitely write start in the box. Then input num1, num2, we can separate by comma, but you can't mention and or any symbol there. Then process box, total equals num1 plus num2. Another thing we need to consider, make sure whatever thing you input, the same name you have to mention in the calculation or the process box as well. If you just use NUM1, definitely you have to use NUM1 in the process box. Output, total, again the same thing, same total what you mentioned there, the spellings should be there in the output as well. Then stop. So this is a simple program, simple flow chart, how it flows. So this is a sequence flow chart. So in the next lessons or next videos, I'll explain how about the selection and the repetition flowcharts and the pseudocodes, and further I'm planning to explain some Python programs as well. I hope this tutorial will help you all for the beginners of flowchart, and this is very important for the programming as well. Any age categories, this is suitable. Thank you.